Welcome back to part 2 of the F1000 Silverstone weekend. This is the video you've been waiting for, the onboard action and drama from all 3 races. I overcome more frustrating mechanical issues to deliver another exciting result in possibly my best drive ever, which resulted in me getting my first fastest lap of a race. And I even overtook both the 22 and 24 F1000 champions. So sit back and enjoy a very classic F1000 weekend here at Silverstone. As you probably know from part 1, testing at Silverstone was a bit different this time and a lot of fun. I let my good friend Sam Venning loose in my race car in his first ever drive of an F1000, and luckily it went well. He made a few small mistakes with the gearbox, putting a little bit of stress on the engine, which was playing on the back of my mind ever so slightly come race day. I also drove a radical for the first time. The legend that is Stephen Bell let me loose in his car, which was great fun sending through traffic and nearly binning it into turn 1 Abbey. Then race day came around. I qualified in P8, but thanks to the 5-place grid penalty that I sustained during the Cadwell incident, I was starting P14. All the way back here. Then unfortunately disaster struck. As we were leaving the pit lane to form the grid, I broke down on the track, the engine cut out, and I had to be pushed behind the barriers by some marshals. When I was sat there waiting, the car turned back on, so I started pleading with the marshals to let me back on track. Fortunately, there was a false start, which meant they had to go back round and form the grid again, so I was released and allowed to start the race. My driving had improved immensely this season, thanks to the awesome work of my driver coach, Matthew Round Parido. I felt confident, I felt fast, and I was determined to bounce back from the humiliation that I caused myself at Cadwell Park. I wanted that second podium more than ever. And this time, I believed it was absolutely possible. So here we are at the race start for race 1. Back in P14, a lot of cars to overtake. We need a good start here. Great launch, but a few cars have stalled here. It's very close that, so I'm going to slow that down and show you just how close that was. But we go again. 3 cars stalled in front of me there, but I get a great launch. I've now got Ian and Kaylee in front, but they're trying to block each other in the inside, so I know if I lift a bit and just go up the inside, they've got a compromised line and I can just send it round. Ian in front on his first ever F1000 race, doing a really good job of blocking me there, but I just keep it on the right hand side and send it up the inside of turn 3 and get the move done. A little ways later on lap 2, there's an issue. The same thing that happened on the out lap happens again on the hanger straight on the second lap, so unfortunately I had to put my hand up, let everyone go by. Obviously quite a scary part to have broken down. Letting people know that I've got an issue, I've put it into neutral here, so I'm just rolling, because I'm not far from the pits here, they're over there just coming into view now. So trying to understand where everyone is in the mirrors and try and move across the circuit in the best way possible without blocking any of the other drivers. As I'm rolling in here, George got some, I guess, awesome shots of me coming in, and it was just extremely frustrating. Obviously, it's amazing how far these cars roll, but I wish it would roll a little bit faster. Obviously not too happy with what's happened here. Coming into view of the hotel where my friends were, I waited until I was in the pits to then try and start her up again, because obviously if I lost the momentum, then it wouldn't be able to roll into the pits. And guess what? So I pull into my mechanics and my team, let them know what happened here, and ask their advice. Do we go back out? Do we send it or not? Obviously we send it, because you've paid too much money and there's too little time in the car to let an opportunity like this go by. As you can see though, we've come back out at the start of the race, so we're a few places up where we came in. There goes Sam Satchwell past us, and I know that Tom Westworth's about to be coming around the corner, so I signal him by, not wanting to get in the way of him and make sure we don't ruin his race. I think we were 2, maybe 3 laps down. I think it was 2 laps down at this point. So we're really just kind of making a decision here. We've come out where we should be, so there's no point dropping back and sitting behind people that are slower than me. So I'm going to just sit here where I should be and just lap until the end of the race, really, which is what we did. A race to forget. Turns out it was an electrical gremlin. We put a new map manifold pressure sensor and reflashed the ECU software. It wasn't venting or the engine in the end, but you can see why I was worried. So it's Sunday morning, race 2. Waving up at the balcony where I've got friends and family watching, so let's hope that we get another good start. I am all the way back in P13, but plenty of cars to overtake me. Now I bogged a little bit, but I'll be completely honest, I didn't realise there wasn't a green flag lap for this race, so I actually lifted a tiny bit. Quickly got back on the throttle, so that's Ryan and Kaylee that we're going around the outside of, and Wayne there on one of his first weekends. See all the dust and how much the car's moving around there? No one was really expecting that going into that turn. Huge snap of oversteer, so we put our hand up to Ryan, who's on the outside of us, obviously kind of out of control of the car there, and get round Dan Hunter, one of the new guys this series. So now we're coming onto the hangar straight, and we're right behind Sam Satchwell here. We've had many good battles over the season. We're a little bit far back, but we're going to see what we can do here. We do a late lunge down the inside of him. We know we can trust him. Big snap of oversteer as we go round, but we leave the room, shut the door, and get the move done. Now we're right onto the back of the main pack here, so we're really excited because it's been a reverse top 10 grid. Other than Matt Higginson, who had a blinding start, we've got Adam Walker and some of the other guys who are holding up the pack here. Now Ian Abel is in front of me. He missed a gear there, which is why I nearly went into the back of him on the straight. I should have maybe predicted that something could have gone wrong there. But again, he's doing a fantastic job on his second ever race to hold me up. I've launched it down the inside but took it easy, so he's sticking around there and doing a really good job of making sure that I can't get past him. But we know it's going to be all about hangar straight here. He's twitching around a little bit. That distracts us and we don't get the best entry to the corner, which means a poor exit. Going through that cloud of dirt, you might want to look at the rearview mirror. It breaks my heart to say that Sam Satchwell got very unlucky going through that dirt, hit the gravel and ended up in the wall. It was a big shunt, but Sam was fine. Unfortunately, the car was not. Sam's a good friend and an awesome driver. It's really going to suck if he's going to have to miss some rounds this season. So now we're making a bother of Ian down the inside of him here into Stowe. Just showing our nose, keeping there so it kind of puts him off and he understeers off and we get the move done. And we're on the back of James Clennell here. Him and Rob quickly got ahead of Craig Pollard, who had an issue with his gearbox. I wasn't quite able to make it up the inside of him before turn 1. I did then, however, overtake him a lap later. Which made for a very interesting run down the hangar straight, as both me and James Clennell got past Eric Cowell, but I had Pollard with a double slipstream behind me. I wasn't really going to fight him, let him go up the inside of me there, trying to go for the switchback but didn't quite have the drive. I'm also not really in a position to be launching it down the inside of defending champions. With my recent track record, it's not worth the risk. A lap later, again on the hangar straight, Pollard is making a nuisance of himself on Adam Walker, the veteran of F1000, been doing it 18 years now. I follow Craig, launch it down the inside of Adam, but respectfully stay there. This is now a race down to the hairpin. Adam and I have done a lot of battles, especially here at Silverstone. So I let him go down the inside and I'm going for the switchback move here, so taking a different line and trying to go up the inside. Now this is a very similar move to what Adam pulled on me the year before. I'm very excited to have done that move in front of the balcony where my friends were watching. Us in the top 6 held this same position for the next 5 laps. Then we came up against a back marker who did a good job to get out of the way, hashtag Davey at the back. I made a bit of a pig's ear of it though. So then on the final lap, I've dropped back slightly and I've come into the final complex and go straight ahead into the gravel, just narrowly avoiding the wall. Getting out of the car, sort of covered in dust, not too happy. If you watch the front left, the front upright snapped. Now, we were advised by the manufacturer to get the latest uprights which are stronger. I didn't do that though, so this one's definitely on me. My friends on the balcony could see the cloud of dust and hoped that it wasn't me, but of course it was. They obviously thought I'd made a mistake rather than it being a mechanical issue. I got these kind of cool shots of the car sat in the gravel, covered in dust, whilst the awesome marshals got the car onto the flatbed and we got it back to the garages. Thanks again to all the marshals for their dedication and hard work. Back at the garages, I tried my best to prove to my friends that it was a mechanical issue and I didn't just crash again. You can imagine how that went. Once we had collected half the gravel that Silverstone had to offer, we started the repair. Of course, this is the royal we, I did very little.
But my team at TSR, Stuart, Matt, Liam and Dan,
started the rebuild with only 4 hours left until the final race. They are no strangers to fast rebuilds. Replacing the front upright took fire and specialist know-how. I want to especially thank Michael Gadd, father of ex-F1000 driver and 23 champion Tom Gadd, for getting the car back to its former glory. Is it a coincidence that the man fixes my car and then I go out and get the fastest lap in the following race?
I think not!
This is the man behind Gadd's records and championship. Maybe I'll have to see if he wants to join my campaign for next year. Support the new F1000 championship hopeful, because I need him more than Tom does. So we made it onto the grid, and based on fastest lap from the previous race, I was starting P4. Had a bit of a nosebleed up here. Let's hope I don't mess it up. And of course I messed it up. Bogged the engine quite significantly and dropped 3 places. That's Ryan Thomas, my teammate, going past me. Ian Abel even trying to go around the outside of me here, but I'm just not letting it happen. Little bit of oversteer as we go around the corner, keeping the foot pinned, making sure he's not going to get by us. And we know we brake later here into turn 3, so now we're comfortably on the back of Ryan. Tyres are a bit cold, as you can see, and then we see a puff of smoke coming from Ryan's engine. So we get into his slipstream. We can see it getting worse now, so we're going to easily pass him, but we need to let him know that there's an issue with the engine. As you can see, cold tyres again, because couldn't get anywhere near the apex. But on the exit, I make sure I point to Ryan to let him know to go into the pits. He later told me that the engine did in fact blow up as he got into the pits, so it was a really good job that we managed to stop him from continuing, especially as the performance I delivered here wouldn't have likely happened with a safety car. So coming round onto lap 2 now, we're not too far off the guys in front, but as Eric hits the curb, it sends him off into the shadow realm, and we managed to get past him going into turn 3. A lap later, I'm going around turn 1 at Abbey, just showing this because it's such an awesome corner and we've taken so much pace through it. But also, as you're coming down into this braking zone, you can see the amount of concrete powder being thrown up by the drivers going through it. It took us 3 laps to finally catch up to Rob in front of us. Rob was on a spare engine for this race, so was down on power, which left him vulnerable to attack. But that doesn't mean he's a pushover. There's no way he's going to be letting me go through there. He's always going to shut the door, but it does ruffle his feathers.
a lap later, we're definitely in striking distance going into the hangar straight. As long as we get a good exit. Well, Rob's gone onto the grass, which is not going to help him at all, so we've definitely got the toe. We're going to pop it out, and outside of the toe we lose it. I'm wondering if James Clennell there moved over to give me more toe, whether that was strategic or just moving around. And we managed to make the move stick on Rob. We get him into Stowe.
Jumping ahead to lap 9, hangar straight again gives us the opportunity this time to catch up with James Clennell.
We launch it down the inside, he comes across, we tap his wheel, he loses a bit of traction but not too much, got very lucky there. Now Rob's all over the back of us, we stay in the middle to block him, but after that I was a bit shaken up. I was just like, I'd rather let Rob go. Little lock up, wasn't anything too bad though, and he remains in front of us. But we know that we've got the speed coming through this final corner and on the straight because he's down in power. But we underestimated how good at defending he is. But the distraction made him make a small mistake, but nothing we're going to be able to capitalise on. Because of this oil down here, it narrows the entry into that corner, so there's no move to be had. We've now got Tom Westworth, our teammate, right behind us, but then Rob makes a mistake going to hanger, so we know that we're going to get the toe, we're going to be able to make the move again and hopefully make it stick. But we've definitely lost ground to James Clennell here whilst we're fighting. Coming up against a back marker, we've thrown up the inside, nearly lose traction and go into him, but we didn't. So Rob's still behind us, but I think we've made enough of a gap that as long as we brake late. So a lap later on, lap 12, we're following James here and he's really defending the inside. So we move over to take an alternative line, and I think that's just worked, and he's understeered off. So we make the move and we get it done. Fair play to James, launching from way far back, but he goes deep and we managed to just switch back it on the defence, which was awesome because all of my friends saw that while they were watching from the wing. And coming round the final corner in P3, my second ever podium here in F1000, couldn't be more excited. Apparently these fist bumps are very cute, my friend Sam says, so let me know what you think in the comments of the drive. I appreciate it's just the highlights only, so you're definitely going to have to subscribe now to see the full race. I promise you, it's awesome watching the fight every lap, every lap.
So now you can see why Silverstone was the most classic F1000 weekend ever. Race 1 I wasn't classified, I believe because the marshals touched my car, but I still managed to finish the race. Race 2 was a DNF on the final lap, but I was showing serious pace throughout the race and was about to deliver a decent result. Race 3, my second ever F1000 podium. P3 after the fight of my life. Pace was amazing and the wheel-to-wheel racing was some of the best I've seen in F1000. There were some standout performances this weekend from other drivers that I wanted to take a moment to recognise. Ian Abel was on his first F1000 weekend, so he was a complete rookie and novice in the category. He had come from racing MX-5, so had racing experience, but he delivered results and performances way above someone in their first weekend. His battle with Eric Cowell, another rookie this year, was epic to see. He even held me off with my experience, made it difficult to pass him, and is going to be one to watch for next season. Rob Wellham proving why he's an F1000 champion and fierce competitor, managing to overtake me and give me trouble even though he was down on engine power. Not giving up without a tough fight. Craig Pollard having gearbox issues most of the weekend and still managing to get me back after I overtook him, taking back his position after I made an easy and unfair pass on the straight. James Clennell being in F1000 the same amount of time but been delivering better performances. This weekend I managed to take the fight to him and had an awesome battle with him on track, and he delivered himself another podium and some decent results and points. I think we both got very lucky that the very minimal contact I made with his tyre didn't punt him into the shadow realm. Matt Higginson with possibly the best start I've seen in racing so far, proving why he's many people's favourite for the championship this season. And my teammate Tom Westworth, who, even though he can't start to save his life, always fights back with a determined drive putting pressure on the top 5 and delivering decent performances as per usual, with another podium. A massive thank you goes out to my friends and my dad, of course, who turned this weekend into what felt like a festival. Knowing they were watching from the balcony fueled my fire. I think a record number of Guinnesses were consumed on that day, and I'm surprised if any of them even remember the racing. Knowing they were watching from the wing as I battled both Rob Wellham and James Clennell somehow calmed me down. It kept me in check, knowing that one wrong move and this glorious moment would turn into a Cadwell nightmare. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel today, because I'm soon going to be posting the full race onboards from both race 2 and race 3, so you can see the full action in all of its glory. It's honestly the best onboards that I've created today. Next up is Brands Hatch on the 12th and 13th of September in the penultimate racing weekend of the season. Last year, Brands was the first race of the season and provided a huge teaching moment for me. It was my 4th ever race weekend, and I was lapped on the final lap. This year, I'm going for my first win. Do you think I've got it in me? Let me know in the comments and subscribe to follow along.